Have you ever considered that nothing in a temporal sense actually really matters one bit at all? Now, I'm not saying that everything that we do is meaningless and we might as well just not do anything because there's no point. But what I'm saying is that if these things aren't done for the glory of God and to live out God's purpose in our life, they're ultimately, absolutely, completely and utterly meaningless. And the things of this world, the pursuits, the things that people put their highest amount of importance in, that they work the hardest towards, actually mean nothing in the end if they're not done for the glory of God and they're not part of God's plan. Like, you think about it, you could invest all of your time and your effort and your energy, you could focus on all of these worldly goals and dreams and all of these things, and you could even achieve the greatest success, you could rise to the top, you could achieve the greatest recognition from man. All of the wealth, all of the pleasures, all of the fame, everything that this world has to offer. But what will it matter when you die and you stand before God? You will simply see the foolishness of having invested the deepest part of your heart and the greatest portion of your time to achieving these things, which in the end will be taken from you. And not only taken from you, you have to stand before God and give an account to Him for how you've lived your life and what you esteemed most highly. Did you live for Him, or did you live for the world and the things of yourself? Now, I believe that even as Christians, we've been put here on the earth to live out a life that we're using the gifts and talents and abilities that we have, and that could be in different arenas. It could be to have great business success, but you're doing it for the glory of God, and you're using that wealth to be a blessing to others and extending the kingdom. It could be to be an athlete, a sports player, but you're doing it for the glory of God. I'm not trying to make a division between the secular and the sacred. Anything that we do can be sacred. It can be of God if we're doing it for Him and His glory. There's nothing wrong with committing to our giftings and talents and abilities and even rising to the top of any particular field. But what I'm saying is that there are so many people out there, godless people who don't even think about God, and they invest everything they've got to become rich, to become influential, powerful, to have the respect of people, to achieve certain positions in life, and then to spend their money on certain pleasures and luxuries and all of these sorts of things. And that's like their main focus. That's like their purpose. They get up in the morning to pursue these things. Like, it's just so empty. And even if you achieved all of it and you got to the end of your life, you're going to die. It's going to be taken from you. You can't take it with you. You're going to stand before God, and the only thing that's going to matter is what did you do with the Lord Jesus Christ? And that will determine where you spend eternity. And even for the believer, we're going to be judged by how faithful we were, and that will determine how we will spend eternity. I mean, even believers can get caught up in this. We can be sidetracked. We can think that there's so much importance in all of these things. And like I said, it's not bad in and of itself, but God should always be at the center of our mind and be the purpose for which we're doing any undertaking. Not to fill a void in us or our identity, or for us to enjoy pleasures or to enjoy the recognition of men. We need to have the right motives in whatever we're doing, and that'll look different for different people. It's not that one is better or one's worse. The best thing is actually to be living for God. So that's all that's going to matter in the end. And for those who haven't accepted Jesus Christ, they will have achieved every reward here on earth, and they will just be separated from Him for eternity. So what's the point? It's not only pointless, it's destructive. But this world sells us these illusions, and who is the ruler of this world? It's Satan. He wants us to be caught up in these things, to see these beautiful shiny objects in front of us and to run after them, and to see God as this boring joy kill, and a life with Him is sacrificing all of these amazing pleasures. But imagine when we stand before God, imagine when we see things clearly and everyone recognizes, wow, everything that this world has to offer is garbage, it's junk. And Jesus Christ was the only true treasure. How crazy. And I love the verse. It says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? That you could gain everything in this life, rise to the top, enjoy every pleasure, success, everything. And if you lose your soul, if you forfeit your soul, and you don't have Jesus Christ, you spend an eternity separated from him. And all of that will matter not one bit. And this life can seem so important, it can seem so central to everything, but it's only a tiny portion of the time we will actually exist, because when we go into eternity, that'll be forever. This life is like that in comparison. So what are you putting your focus on? Are you putting so much time and focus on these things? It's embarrassing for Christians. I feel embarrassed of myself, and I look at the way that I live, and I feel convicted to live in a greater commitment to God. There are people that are pursuing a success in the entertainment industry or in sports or whatever it is, or business, and they're committing everything. They're committing full days to this. They are relentless. They are like laser focused on doing this stuff. And I think that we have an ultimately greater calling, and we can be so apathetic at times. We can be so distracted. We can just be so sidetracked. We should be the most committed people to what God has called us to than what anyone in the world is committed to their own causes. That should convict us when we hear people that are pouring their lives into these worldly things. We think, well, am I even pouring my life into the calling that God has given me? So what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? Nothing. In fact, it costs him everything. I did a video where I spoke about this, and I just talked about all of these things and how you could achieve everything, but in the end it will be meaningless. And I used some really interesting analogies about life and people that have come before us and gone and achieved great success, and well, where are they now? What would they be thinking now? I'm going to put that video up on the screen. It's only a 5.5 minute video. It's a scripted and edited video on my other channel, Line of Fire Ministries. I would love for you to check that out. And if you do, leave a comment on it as well. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And if you'd like, leave a comment on this video. And I look forward to talking to you soon, brothers and sisters. I hope that this has helped you. God bless you.